Have you ever stood in front of the mirror and felt like you didn't recognize the person staring back at you? It's not that you don't know your face, your features, or the way you carry yourself, but something feels off. It's like the person you've always known is suddenly distant. Maybe you look the same, but you don't feel the same. You might even start to wonder, is this who I've become? It's a strange and unsettling feeling, one that can hit at any time. You might have been going about your day as usual, but out of nowhere, the feeling creeps in, and you realize that you're no longer connected to your body or your emotions. It's like you're watching yourself from the outside, unable to touch what's inside. You've become a stranger in your own life, and no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to feel right anymore. This disconnect can come from so many places: stress, burnout, loss, a life change, or even just the constant demands of daily life. Maybe you've had a tough year, or maybe it's been a slow buildup of little things that have made you feel like you're not you anymore. It could be the result of ignoring your own needs for so long that you've lost touch with who you really are. And now, when you look in the mirror or think about your life, you wonder where the real you went. But here's the thing. It's okay to feel lost. This isn't some rare experience that only happens to others. It happens to all of us. Life can get overwhelming, and we all face times when we feel disconnected from ourselves. It doesn't mean that you're broken. It just means you're human, and you're going through a moment of disconnection, which, believe it or not, is a very normal part of life. In this video, we'll walk through how to reconnect with yourself when you feel like a stranger in your own body. We'll look at ways to rediscover the person you truly are, the person who's been waiting for you to come back to them. It might take time, but trust me, every step you take to heal will bring you closer to the real you. And we're going to get there together. If you're ready to start this process of rediscovery, stay with me. There's no rush, no pressure to have it all figured out today. The fact that you're even thinking about it means you're already on the right path. So let's take the first step toward healing. Right now, it's easy to feel like you're just not yourself when you're disconnected. But what does that really mean? To understand this feeling, it helps to first think about how you've been living day to day. Have you been feeling more exhausted than usual? Are you going through the motions, barely getting by, without really feeling present in your life? Maybe you've been so focused on work, on keeping up with obligations, or taking care of everyone else, that you haven't had time to check in with yourself. This kind of disconnect often comes from being too caught up in the outer world and losing sight of what's going on inside. It's easy to get wrapped up in the rush of life, but eventually, that pace takes a toll on you. Your body, mind, and soul are all interconnected. When one part of you is ignored or neglected, the others begin to suffer. You might notice that your body feels tired, your emotions feel flat, and your thoughts seem scattered. It's almost like you're moving through life on autopilot. A lot of us push through these moments because we think it's just a phase or something we need to power through. But here's the truth. Constantly ignoring how we feel only makes things worse. When we stop checking in with ourselves, the disconnect deepens. It becomes harder to identify who we truly are beneath all the layers of daily distractions and responsibilities. The result? A growing sense of alienation and confusion. But understanding why you feel disconnected is a critical first step in the process of reconnecting. It's not about judging yourself or feeling bad about how you've been feeling. It's about acknowledging that this disconnect is a sign, a signal from your mind and body that they need your attention. It's like an alarm going off, reminding you that you've been neglecting yourself for too long. This moment of recognition is powerful. It's a chance to stop and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What am I really missing? It's not about blaming yourself. It's about giving yourself the space to pause and take notice. And this is exactly where the healing begins. When you can admit that something feels off and that you're ready to do something about it. So take a deep breath right now. It's okay to feel this way, and it's okay to acknowledge it. The more you understand about why you're feeling disconnected, the easier it will be to move forward. And the best part, you're not stuck. You can start to reconnect and rediscover who you are again. Now that we understand why you might be feeling disconnected, let's talk about how you can begin to take responsibility for your own well-being. It's easy to blame external factors, work stress, family obligations, or even a past trauma for the way you feel. But here's the tough truth. While those things can certainly influence your mood and energy, they don't define who you are. You have the power to take control of your own healing. It starts with taking responsibility for your own emotional health, mental clarity, and physical well-being. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for how you feel. It's not about fault, it's about empowerment. The power to change your reality, to reconnect with yourself, lies within you. This is about giving yourself permission to care for yourself, to prioritize your needs, and to make choices that support your emotional, mental, and physical health. No one else can do this for you, and that's okay. This is your responsibility, and that's something to be proud of. When you've been living on autopilot for so long, it can be easy to forget that you're the one steering the ship. But you are. You can make small, deliberate choices that pull you back to yourself. It can be as simple as making time for a walk when your body needs rest, journaling your thoughts to untangle your mind, or setting healthy boundaries with others when you're feeling overwhelmed. Every time you take responsibility for your well-being, you're reminding yourself that your needs matter. You're reminding yourself that you're worthy of care. This can be difficult, especially if you've been conditioned to prioritize others over yourself. But by taking small actions that show you value your well-being, you can start to shift the way you relate to yourself. You start to become your own best friend, the person who listens to your own needs and gives yourself the love and attention that you deserve. As you take responsibility for your well-being, remember that it's not about being perfect. It's not about always getting everything right or having it all together. It's about taking consistent steps in the right direction, no matter how small they seem. It's about showing up for yourself each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Taking responsibility means reclaiming your power. It's time to stop waiting for the world or others to fix things for you. This is your time to heal, to reconnect with yourself, and to step into your own strength. Each choice you make today will be a building block for your tomorrow. And the more you take responsibility for your well-being, the closer you get to the person you truly are. One of the most important steps in reconnecting with yourself is to practice self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh on yourself when you're feeling disconnected. You may think you should be stronger or better, or that you should have everything figured out by now. But the truth is, you are doing the best you can with what you have right now. And that's enough. We live in a world that often promotes perfection, showing only the best sides of ourselves to others and downplaying the messy parts. But life isn't perfect. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns, and sometimes it's okay to not have everything under control. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to not be at your best all the time. Self-compassion means giving yourself the grace to be human, to make mistakes, and to feel all of your emotions without judgment. This might be a difficult concept to grasp, especially if you've spent years putting others' needs before your own. You might have been taught that taking care of yourself is selfish, or that being vulnerable shows weakness. But none of that is true. True strength comes from being able to look at yourself with kindness and understanding, rather than criticism. When you're kind to yourself, you're giving yourself the permission to heal. Self-compassion isn't about excusing your actions or ignoring areas where you could grow. It's about understanding that you are doing your best with what you know and have at the moment. When you're compassionate toward yourself, you can start to heal old wounds. Instead of replaying mistakes over and over in your mind, you can gently acknowledge them, learn from them, and move forward. You don't have to carry the weight of your past with you forever. Instead, you can release it with love and understanding. To start cultivating self-compassion, try this simple practice. When you catch yourself being self-critical, pause and say to yourself, "I'm doing the best I can right now." Or, "It's okay to feel this way. I'm allowed to have tough days." It may sound small, but these words can be powerful. Over time, they can shift your mindset and bring you back into alignment with who you really are. Remember, You're worthy of kindness, especially from yourself. You deserve the same love and understanding you would offer to a friend going through a tough time. And by cultivating this self-compassion, you're not only reconnecting with yourself, you're also setting the foundation for a deeper, more loving relationship with who you are. One of the most powerful ways to rediscover who you are is by reconnecting with your passions. When you feel like a stranger in your own body, it's easy to forget the things that once lit you up inside. The hobbies, interests, and activities that made you feel alive and truly yourself might have been pushed aside for the demands of everyday life. But the truth is, those passions are part of who you are. They're pieces of your soul that have been waiting for your attention. Think about it. What's something you used to love doing but haven't made time for lately? Maybe it's painting, writing, dancing, playing music, hiking, or even just cooking a meal from scratch. Whatever it is, those passions are more than just hobbies. They're a reflection of your inner self, the parts of you that still have something to express, to create, and to enjoy. When we stop engaging with our passions, we lose touch with the most authentic parts of ourselves. But when we start to bring them back into our lives, even in small ways, we can reignite that connection. It's not about being perfect or achieving anything extraordinary. It's about making time to do what makes you feel good, what brings you joy, and what gives you that spark of energy. Reconnecting with your passions doesn't require a grand gesture. It doesn't require you to quit your job and pursue your dreams full-time. It's about making small, intentional choices to bring those things back into your life. Set aside time every week, maybe even just a few minutes each day, to do something you love. It could be as simple as picking up a paintbrush or writing a short story. The important thing is that you're giving yourself permission to do something just for you, to reconnect with the parts of you that feel truly alive. This process can also help you regain a sense of purpose. When you're engaged in something that you're passionate about, it takes you out of the mental fog and into a state of flow. You're no longer thinking about your worries or feeling disconnected. You're fully present in the moment. And in those moments, you rediscover your own strength, creativity, and joy. If you don't know where to start, think back to the things that made you feel excited and inspired in the past. Maybe you've forgotten them because they got buried under the weight of life's responsibilities. But they're still there, waiting for you to reclaim them. And every time you do, you're reconnecting with the core of who you really are. So, take a moment to ask yourself, what do you love to do? What would make your heart happy to engage with again? Start small, but start today. You deserve to feel that spark of passion again. And the more you feed that fire, the more you'll reconnect with yourself. As we continue this process of reconnecting with yourself, it's impossible to ignore the past. We all have moments that have left emotional scars, whether it's from relationships, mistakes we've made, or things beyond our control. These past experiences can shape the way we see ourselves and the world. But here's the thing. While we can't change the past, we have the power to heal from it. Healing from past hurts isn't easy, and it's not a quick fix. It requires acknowledging the pain without letting it define you. When we carry around old wounds, whether they're from childhood, past friendships, or even more recent events, we unknowingly carry that weight with us into our present. And that weight can make us feel even more disconnected from who we are. The past can often feel like a shadow that follows us, reminding us of things we'd rather forget. But healing starts with allowing ourselves to feel those emotions, no matter how painful. You don't need to rush through it or suppress the hurt. It's okay to grieve, to feel sadness, anger, or disappointment. These feelings are valid, and they don't make you weak, they make you human. In fact, they're part of the process of letting go and moving forward. Here's where self-compassion comes in. Instead of punishing yourself for feeling hurt or wishing the past had been different, you can treat yourself with the same love and care you would offer to someone you deeply care about. If a friend came to you with the same pain, what would you say to them? Would you tell them to just get over it? Or would you offer them understanding, patience, and a listening ear? We need to offer ourselves that same compassion. You're not a prisoner of your past. You're someone who is capable of healing, growing, and moving beyond it. And while healing may not happen overnight, taking small steps each day can make a difference. Sometimes it means forgiving yourself for things you've done, and other times, it means letting go of the pain others may have caused you. One of the most powerful ways to heal from past hurts is through forgiveness. And no, this doesn't mean excusing the behavior that caused you harm. It means freeing yourself from the emotional weight of that pain. Forgiveness is for you. It's about releasing the hold that the past has over you so that you can be more present and open to the future. But forgiveness doesn't always come easily. It takes time, it takes patience, and it takes a willingness to let go of resentment, even when it feels unfair. It's a gift you give yourself. Because when you hold on to anger, bitterness, or regret, you're allowing those emotions to control you, and that only keeps you stuck in the past. If you can, take a moment to reflect on the things that still hurt you. What are you holding on to that's preventing you from fully living in the present? What do you need to forgive, whether it's someone else or yourself? This isn't about brushing the pain aside. It's about taking the power back. By releasing what no longer serves you, you make space for healing, for growth, and for the new experiences that await. Healing is not linear, and it doesn't happen on a specific timeline. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to take a break from it when it feels overwhelming. But remember, every small step you take toward healing is one step closer to reconnecting with the person you truly are. This script for Minute 6 emphasizes the importance of healing from past hurts. It encourages viewers to feel their emotions, practice self-compassion, and work toward forgiveness. The idea is to release the emotional weight of past pain in order to move forward and reconnect with oneself. After all the emotional turbulence, it's crucial to begin rebuilding trust with yourself. When you feel like a stranger in your own body, one of the most profound things that gets damaged is the relationship you have with yourself. You may start to feel like you can't trust your decisions, your feelings, or your instincts. This self-doubt can keep you stuck in a cycle of disconnection, where every move feels uncertain and every action feels like a step in the wrong direction. But here's the good news. You can rebuild that trust. Just like any relationship, trust with yourself is something that takes time, consistency, and patience. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with small, conscious decisions. The first step is acknowledging the gap between who you are now and who you want to be, without judgment. You're not a failure for feeling disconnected from yourself. It's simply a sign that you've been going through a tough time. The key to rebuilding trust with yourself is to honor your feelings and needs. When you make a promise to yourself, follow through with it. This doesn't mean being perfect. It means showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. Maybe you've told yourself you'd go for a walk every day or meditate, but you haven't followed through. That's okay. What matters is that you begin again, with small actions that reinforce your commitment to yourself. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, even if it's something as simple as drinking enough water or resting when you're tired, you are reinforcing trust. When we break promises to ourselves, even in small ways, it chips away at that trust. But when we follow through, even on the little things, it helps to rebuild that foundation. This can apply to all areas of your life, from your personal health to your work and relationships. Trusting yourself means that you make decisions that align with your needs and your values. It means giving yourself permission to say no when something doesn't feel right, and yes when it does. But rebuilding trust also involves being honest with yourself. Sometimes we don't trust ourselves because we've been ignoring our gut feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's important to check in with yourself regularly. How are you feeling? What do you need right now? Are you pushing yourself too hard, or are you giving yourself the space to heal? Honesty with yourself creates a sense of clarity that can guide your decisions. The more you trust yourself to make decisions, whether they are big or small, the stronger your connection to yourself becomes. You begin to believe in your own judgment again, and that belief will empower you to take action toward the things that matter to you. Another powerful way to rebuild trust is by practicing self-forgiveness. If you've made mistakes in the past or haven't lived up to your own expectations, forgive yourself. You're human. We all make mistakes. But those mistakes don't define you. They are just experiences you can learn from. Forgiving yourself means letting go of the past and not holding it over your head. It's an act of self-love, a recognition that you deserve peace and the opportunity to try again. As you rebuild trust with yourself, remember that it's a process. There will be setbacks. Some days you might doubt yourself or feel disconnected. But that's okay. Each small step you take toward self-trust adds up. And with time, you'll begin to feel more grounded and in tune with yourself than you ever thought possible. When you feel like a stranger in your own body, it's easy to get stuck in the past or worry about the future. The mind starts replaying past mistakes, missed opportunities, or things you wish you had done differently. Or it can race ahead, imagining what might go wrong tomorrow, next week, or in the years to come. But here's the truth. You can only live in the present moment. The past is gone, and the future hasn't arrived yet. The only time you have is now. Living in the present moment is one of the most powerful ways to reconnect with yourself. When we're fully present, we are grounded in the here and now, and that's where life truly happens. But it's not always easy to stay in the present. Our minds are often filled with distractions, worries, and what-ifs. But by practicing mindfulness, simply paying attention to the present moment without judgment, we can begin to feel more connected to ourselves. One of the easiest ways to do this is through breathwork. Taking deep, intentional breaths can help you reset and bring your focus back to the present. When you inhale deeply, focus only on the sensation of the breath entering your body. When you exhale, feel the release of tension. This simple act of breathing can bring you back to your body and remind you that no matter what's going on in your mind, you are here. You are alive. You are worthy of being in the present moment. Another way to embrace the present is by focusing on your senses. Right now, in this moment, what do you see, hear, smell, taste, and feel? Maybe it's the sound of your breath or the feeling of your feet on the ground. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun or the cool breeze against your skin. By focusing on these small details, you anchor yourself in the now. This practice helps to quiet the mind and reminds you that you don't have to be anywhere else but where you are. Sometimes the reason we feel disconnected is because we're not fully experiencing life. We're distracted, living on autopilot, or letting our thoughts take us to places that no longer serve us. But when we intentionally focus on the present, we start to notice the beauty that surrounds us. The small moments, the quiet wonders, the things that often go unnoticed. It's in those moments that we reconnect with the essence of who we are. Another powerful technique to embrace the present is gratitude. When you feel disconnected from yourself, take a moment to list a few things you're grateful for right now. It could be the simple fact that you're breathing, the warmth of your home, the food you have, or the people who love you. Gratitude shifts your focus away from what you lack or what's wrong in your life, and helps you appreciate the present as it is. By cultivating a sense of gratitude for the now, you can begin to feel more connected to yourself and your surroundings. Embracing the present moment doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging your emotions, your thoughts, and your circumstances, but not letting them take over your life. It's about recognizing that you are worthy of peace, of being present, and of experiencing life as it happens. When you practice being present, you're giving yourself the gift of connection, not only with your surroundings, but also with yourself. The more you can be in the now, the more grounded and connected you'll feel. And when you start living in the present, you may begin to notice how everything else, your past and your future, begins to fall into place. When we feel like strangers in our own bodies, it's often because we've lost touch with our deeper sense of purpose. Purpose isn't just about our jobs or our roles in life. It's about what drives us, what gives us meaning, and what makes us feel truly alive. If you're feeling disconnected from yourself, it might be because you're not fully aligned with your purpose, or you've been too focused on external expectations to hear your inner calling. Reconnecting with your purpose is a deeply personal process. It requires self-reflection, patience, and a willingness to listen to what your heart is telling you. It's not about finding a grand, world-changing mission, although for some, That might be part of it. Purpose can be as simple as living authentically, doing what brings you joy, and contributing to the world in a way that feels true to who you are. One of the first steps in reconnecting with your purposes is to let go of the pressure to have everything figured out. Society often tells us that we need to have a clear, well-defined path, but the truth is, life is full of uncertainty, and that's okay. Not knowing exactly where you're going doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you're open to possibilities. Purpose evolves as you do. It's okay if it shifts over time, as long as you're staying true to your values and what matters most to you. A great way to reconnect with your purpose is to reflect on the things that bring you joy. What activities make you lose track of time? What conversations or moments leave you feeling fulfilled? What causes or passions make your heart feel alive? These are clues to your deeper purpose. If you're not sure, start small. Explore different activities, hobbies, or volunteer opportunities. You don't have to commit to anything right away, but by being open to new experiences, you'll start to uncover what truly resonates with you. Another important aspect of reconnecting with purpose is to align your actions with your values. We all have a set of values, things that are non-negotiable for us, like honesty, kindness, creativity, or freedom. When you live in a way that aligns with these values, you start to feel more connected to yourself. If your current life feels disconnected from your values, it's time to reassess what's truly important. Are you prioritizing things that matter to you, or are you doing things out of obligation or expectation? When your actions align with your values, you'll begin to feel a sense of fulfillment and purpose in every part of your life. Sometimes, reconnecting with your purpose requires letting go of old beliefs or narratives that no longer serve you. If you've been carrying around limiting beliefs about what you're capable of, or if you've been following a path that others have set for you, it might be time to rewrite your own story. What are the things you've always dreamed of doing, but felt too afraid to try? What would you do if you weren't worried about failing? By freeing yourself from fear and expectation, you can reconnect with the parts of you that are driven by passion and excitement. It's also important to remember that your purpose doesn't have to be a big, grand thing. It can be as simple as being kind to others, raising a family, creating art, or pursuing personal growth. Purpose is about living in a way that feels authentic to you, regardless of how it looks to others. And once you reconnect with that purpose, life starts to feel more meaningful. You'll find that every day holds more intention, and your actions feel more aligned with who you truly are. As you work on reconnecting with your purpose, remember that this is an ongoing process. There's no final destination or perfect answer. What matters is that you're showing up for yourself and doing what feels right in the present moment. When you align with your purpose, you will begin to feel more grounded, connected, and at peace with who you are. As you begin to reconnect with yourself, heal, and rediscover your purpose, something incredible happens. You start to become a new version of yourself. This version isn't a stranger anymore. It's someone who is in tune with their body, their mind, and their soul. It's someone who has faced the struggle, embraced the pain, and emerged stronger for it. You're not the same person you were before. You've grown, learned, and transformed. And while that might feel overwhelming at first, it's also incredibly powerful. Embracing the new you means accepting all the changes you've gone through. It means recognizing that the struggles you've faced, the times you felt lost or disconnected, have shaped you into someone more resilient, more self-aware, and more capable of navigating the challenges life throws at you. You're not starting over. You're continuing on a path of growth, evolution, and healing. And the beautiful part of that is that the new version of you has more depth, more understanding, and more power than you might even realize right now. But embracing this new version of yourself requires letting go of old, limiting beliefs. It's easy to get stuck in the idea that we need to be the same person we've always been, but the truth is, change is part of life. We evolve, and that's something to be celebrated, not feared. So let go of any fear about the new you. Instead, welcome the transformation with open arms, knowing that it's part of your growth. One of the most freeing things you can do as you embrace the new you is to stop comparing yourself to others. It's easy to look around and think everyone else has it together, but the truth is, we all have our own path to follow. Your transformation is unique to you, and it's okay if it doesn't look the same as someone else's. Focus on your own progress, not on where others are. Celebrate your small wins and the strides you've made, because those moments of growth matter just as much as the big milestones. Another important part of embracing the new you is practicing self-compassion. The journey you've been through hasn't been easy, and it's okay to be gentle with yourself. You may still have moments where you feel lost, where you question your decisions, or where things don't seem to be going as planned. And that's okay. Being kind to yourself during these moments helps you stay connected to your new sense of self. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real and giving yourself the space to keep growing. The more you embrace this new version of yourself, the more you will step into your own power. You will feel more aligned with who you are, more confident in your decisions, and more at peace with the person you've become. And with that peace, you'll begin to see the world differently too. You'll be able to appreciate the beauty of the small moments, the joy of simply being alive, and the deep connection you have with yourself and others. As you continue to embrace the new you, remember that this is just the beginning. Life will always bring change, challenges, and opportunities. But now you have the tools, the strength, and the self-awareness to face whatever comes your way. You are no longer a stranger in your own body. You are home, and you are whole. If you've resonated with this message and are ready to embrace the new version of yourself, take a moment today to reflect on one thing you love about the person you've become. Share it in the comments below. What's one positive change you've experienced that makes you proud? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay connected for more videos that help you reconnect with your true self. You're not alone in this, and I'd love to hear how you're embracing the new you.